Hi, welcome back to Nurturing Moms. We are continuing the conversation with regards to your pelvic floor muscle. Why is it important? So in the last video we talked about prenatally. You're pregnant, you haven't had your baby, and what should you do when you discover you're a bit achy here and there. In this video, I want us to talk to moms who've just had their babies. You've just had your babies and you're wondering, have I damaged myself? Are my internal reproductive parts okay? So Khiloni is here to answer some of the questions that I have. Khiloni, tell me, a mom has just had her baby. Her doctor tells her, come and see me at 2 weeks. At 2 weeks, she goes and he checks her vagina and sees, the stitches are healing well and everything is okay. Or if she had a cesarean section, the scar is okay and there's no leakage, there's no infection. But she's told to come back at her 6-week postpartum. Why is it so important to go back at 6 weeks? What I know is about contraception, that come back. So we talk about contraception because, maybe you don't want to have your baby, another pregnancy immediately, you've just had this baby. But what's so important about the 6 weeks check?
Okay, so I think, yes, like you said, whether you've had a C-section or you've had a vaginal birth, some things have gone on, some things have changed, and maybe it's going to take longer for you to get back to the way you are.
Okay.
So for first-time moms, it can be a bit traumatic of, oh my God, I don't want to see what I look like.
Yes. Actually encourage them to use a mirror
exactly.
to just check.
I don't want to see what I look like. My C-section is looking horrible. I actually don't want to see it. I don't touch it when I shower. So first things, it's nice to go to your gynecologist to see if things are healing, because infections can come up very quickly and they can cause fevers.
Okay.
And then you have on antibiotics and your baby can't have milk and all of that. So it's nice to see the gynecologist. The deal about the 6 weeks checkup is, like you said, contraception, but also to see, are you holistically okay? And now I find these appointments are very brief in the sense that you go in, he checks you, everything is fine, he or she checks, everything's fine. Can I go back to my old activities? What should I do? What should I?
If you're fine, you can go back.
You're fine. You're fine, everything's healed.
And it's an external check.
It's an external check.
Yeah.
Now, if your gynecologist is somebody who spends a little more time with you, checks you for a diastasis in the session, does an internal assessment and checks, Mom, you have a prolapse. Mom, are you leaking some urine? Mom, are you leaking some gas? Are you leaking some, poop? Is everything okay? Do you feel heaviness? Are you bleeding? Are you okay with your tear? Have you looked at yourself, Mom? If you've not had that thorough assessment, you may be missing out on some important findings. Another thing that is important in the 6 weeks checkup is to see the strength of your floor, whether you've had a C-section or a vaginal birth, because it will interfere.
Okay.
If we're seeing that you're on the weaker side of the pelvic floor strength, why not we work on it sooner than later? Because those same magical hormones which are there are still in you. So let's take that to advantage and heal you up. So sometimes it's very important to get to that 6 week mark. So long as you've had a thorough assessment and you've been overwhelmed with your appointment and you've got so much information and you've got so much to work on or not work on, but you're reassured you're in good place.
Okay.
When I see, this is my favorite area to treat, is postnatally, because the things that come through the door, I wonder, why are they coming this late?
Yes.
First of all,
it's usually that they've tried everything and they're giving it time for things to go back to how they should be.
Yes, or that this is normal. This is normal. This is okay. This is how things should be.
Okay, so maybe tell us, what do you see? What are you seeing? Maybe a mom complaining of pain during intercourse?
Yes.
A mom complaining of a prolapse?
Yes.
Yeah.
So maybe they don't know prolapse, but they'll say, I feel very heavy. I feel like every time I stand and I do my 5-minute walk with my baby, I'm feeling like there's something there. Some people describe it as an apple. Some people describe it as, I feel like there's a marble ball there.
Really?
Yes, and these are things that people, they say, I don't know what it feels like, but I feel like everything is broken. I feel like I can't walk. I turn at night in the bed and I have sharp pain. It's right here. Nothing has helped me. I've been on medication. As soon as I stop medication, it hurts again. What is going on? And these are people who've gone on 3 months, 6 months, years.
Yes.
Yeah. And because they don't know this exists. So this is the kind of things I really enjoy, because sometimes they come into their appointment, and what I start with, again, like I would when you were pregnant, look at your posture, look at how you are, but this time we'll do an internal treatment, because one, we'll get your underwear off. We'll look at your lady bits and reassure you everything's fine, you don't have an infection, your skin looks healthy. If there's something, we need to look into it, right?
Okay.
But if not, then we proceed to the internal assessment. So if I just pick this up, and people are usually a bit wary about internal assessments because not all gynecologists are graceful, and they're sometimes just...
And you've just had a baby,
Yes,
so it's like,
and you're
what
scared.
do you want to do? Yeah.
Exactly. And sometimes women are already traumatized from a previous tests and experiences, and pap smears are painful and brutal and all of that. So sometimes they think, oh my God, internal assessment, I don't think I want to.
Yes.
So while it may not be a must, it is nicer to do an internal assessment. And so if I run through what I would do, and it's a quick assessment and it's so nice, but I'll get a pair of gloves and I will place my fingers around just to see areas of tension. Sometimes people tear, so we want to look at, apart from this healing, which it heals very quickly, there's an internal component that may have not healed yet. So let's let mom know, mom, you still need to work on there. You need to go for sitz baths, which is soaking up.
So you can tell it hasn't healed?
Yes, you can tell.
So you push down
I will push down and I will be able to see. And I will be able to tell you, mom, this still is going through its healing. Let's get some Epsom salt and soak up your lady bits, get onto a sitz bath, spend some time, rub some coconut oil around here, do something called a perineal massage, which you would do before birthing, just to stimulate the area a little for better healing. So go through that externally. Then we go through the internal assessment, which is with a little bit of lube. And then because the floor is very, very low, I don't need to look for it anywhere. It's right there, okay? So now I want to give moms a couple of instructions of, can you squeeze? Can you feel my finger? Are you able to, have any pain? Are you okay? And sort of get through those commands while I'm doing the assessment.
So when you're assessing, what are you looking for?
So now I'm looking for...
How tight?
No, I'm looking for, is there pain? There shouldn't be, okay? If there is, why is there pain?
So if she squeezes, she may feel pain?
Yes, she may feel pain, okay? So we want to see, mom, are you able to squeeze? Are you able to hold? Are you able to repeat this contraction again and again? I then want to look for a prolapse. So I'll give you instructions like, mom, push down like you're pushing a baby, and we're going to see if is anything coming downwards. If there is, then I will sit down with you and explain.
So what's that thing that would be coming? Is it the bladder or the cervix?
It could be the bladder, it could be the uterus, it could be the rectum, it could be any of them. And sometimes it could be two.
Oh my God.
Yes, and this happens. But it can be corrected because now we've found this out. We know what to do about it. We can do Kegels, we can do positioning, we can do different...
Now wait a minute, Khiloni. If you're having a rectal prolapse, is it coming through the rectum or through the vagina?
Through the vagina.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So the thing is that the anal sphincter is already very tight and it will stay that way. The integrity of that rarely changes. But
Unless
the rectum,
you have like a fistula where...
Exactly. And the rectum, because it's like all these intestines kind of just sagging around, they've got more room to come in the front. And so this is where people are like, I would like to go to the loo, I feel the urge to poop, but I can't pass any stool. Just like you mentioned, that lady was putting her finger in there.
Yes.
So that's called splinting, where we kind of push the rectum back and the poop comes out. So these are things that women need to be taught, because if you don't know how to do it, you're probably going to be constipated for weeks, months, and take things to help you. But if I taught you...
So you could be constipated because you have a prolapse, not because you're really, really constipated?
Yeah, because you're not able to pass it out. So splinting is something that I teach in the session and teach you, get into this position, place your finger, splint, and there's many ways to do that, and that helps. But it could be the bladder prolapse, or it could be the cervix prolapse, where women are coughing and things are on show there. So it's nothing to be scared of, it's something to be aware of. And if you are aware, you can work on it. If you're not, then things go wrong. And that's where the postnatal checkup is very important. And this is a thorough assessment, because this is something you may miss out in your gynecologist appointment, because they may not be considering these factors, because they assume you're going to go back to normal.
Yes.
So this is why it's very important for the pelvic health, especially to people who've given birth, to screen, am I okay, am I doing fine?
And this is for whether you've had a vaginal delivery
or a C-section. Yes.
Still
and the same way you have maybe a vaginal birth, you may have had a tear, or you may have had some, some damage to that area that you were working on healing. The same way your C-section, if anything, it's a major surgery. So you've gone through not only one layer this time, but multiple layers. So just the way this heals, I need to show you how to help this area heal. So there's C-section massage, for example, which people actually never know. It's almost a thing that don't touch, never
C-section massage.
Yeah, and actually, exactly. Okay. So for the healing of all those layers, because who knows, maybe you want to have another baby, and maybe you're going to go through another C-section. Will that hinder my birth next time? Possibly. No. But if we work on it, maybe you'll be completely okay when you won't realize you ever gave birth through a C-section. Okay. So these are things that people need to be educated of in that first appointment with me. If we find something, I will give you a detailed sheet telling you, Mom, we found X, Y, Z. This is your priority list. This is how you're going to work. And once we've worked on achieving your goals, I will send you out to somebody who knows more. So we send you to a postnatal exercise trainer. These are women or men who have trained hours in therapy for women postnatally. So they will not cause damage.
So this is if you want to go back to exercising.
Yeah, if you want to go back to exercise, there has to be a way. You can't wake up one week and say, I'm going to go for my 5-kilometer run. It doesn't work.
Okay.
So we need to...
Why doesn't it work?
Because you are okay for 3 weeks and you went for your first run and you will get a prolapse at the end of that run because you are not trained to hold things up. So this is why that is important. And sometimes women are like, I used to do 15-kilometer runs before I got pregnant and I want to go back into it. Can I get back into running? And my answer is, if you're not hit your 3 months of training, you can go back to running. So give me 3 months to work on you with various sets of exercises to prepare your floor for running. Wow. Then you will run fine. You will run without leaking. You will run without a prolapse because we've trained you to take those pressures back on.
Worked on the pelvic floor.
Yeah, and so some people do CrossFit and they want to do like weight training, and some people want to go back to all sorts of things.
So there's no safest time. You know how we say 6 to 8 weeks is okay to go back to exercising?
Yes.
So there's really no safe time to go back until you've seen
so you can start exercising from day one. So long as it's specific to you.
But specific to you've been running 15 kilometers and you want to go back.
Yeah, so if you want to go back, you've got to go through a training phase of, am I ready? Will it be okay for me to? It will be, so long as you go through the safety route of achieving your goal. Which is why, exactly, which is why we have short-term goals, medium-term goals, and long-term. Like I've had a lady a couple of months ago who had a grade 4 prolapse, which is basically she opens up and I just see the uterus. And now she's horse riding 6-7 months down the line without any issues. So we've trained her to get back to what she wanted to do, which was fun for her. Could she have done horse riding after birth? Probably not. So we had to wait that long till we restored her, made her strong, so she can go and enjoy.
The most encouraging thing, Khiloni, is that these things are reversible.
Yes.
That just because you've seen a prolapse, just because you have a bladder or a rectal prolapse, doesn't mean it's the end of you.
It's not the end.
And you may not necessarily need surgery.
Exactly.
We just need to work on the pelvic floor.
That's the key points.
And it will go back to
what
it should be.
Yes.
Yeah? Thank you so much.
You're most welcome.
Thank you so much for all this information. I'm like, wow, what? I've learned so much. I hope you've learned as well. Thank you so much for watching. Shuri is here to support you, to educate you, and to empower you. These are things that I don't necessarily know about. I just know it's important to work on your pelvic floor. But for moms who have just had your baby, please share this information with regards to your pelvic floor and why it's so important to see a pelvic floor specialist such as Khiloni at your 6-week check. Thank you for watching.